I know we've coached together in the
Yeah,
past.
coached together, coached again.
Absolutely.
Cavalli's name, I feel like always comes up on this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
That guy, he's everywhere,
he's
man. It's
everywhere. He's
crazy.
at the gym now. He's one of our
Yeah,
biggest fans.
yeah. I
Um,
see him all the time on Instagram doing his thing.
yeah. So yeah, he got me into that world, ironically enough, and I ended up coaching basketball for whatever it was 7 years,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was 7 years, 2 years of the middle schools, and then I was at Foothill for 5, doing the whole AAU thing and all that. So I was definitely getting my coaching fix while doing the training, and then same
That
thing,
makes
like
sense.
the dream to coach was still somewhat alive.
Right.
I didn't expect like, hey, I'm going to be coaching football, and then all of a sudden I'm coaching girls basketball. Like it was just like two totally different worlds, but I loved it, right? And I enjoyed
Yeah.
it, and so I was working again, trying to work the way up through the Foothill ranks, and then the opportunity to buy the gym here in town, Adamson's Peak Performance at the time, presented itself. And so I went ahead and jumped on that. I mean, this wasn't like an immediate thing. My wife and I
Okay.
had thought about it for a long time. We had been somewhere for 7 years at this other place. They were like family to us. And so
Right.
it was a tough decision. But we decided to go ahead and take that plunge. Felt like God had opened the doors. And
For sure.
so we went that route. And at the same time, the doors to coach for reasons, that we don't need to discuss, but like those were closed over here on the
Yeah.
Foothill side. And so I was like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing in this season. And
Yeah,
here
so
we
you
are.
take so it's like you take it over, and it's like you got Joe Adamson, good dude,
Yeah.
and it's like how do you strike a partnership up with that, and like because it just seems like you're this guy from Palisade Joe CrossFit or whatever excuse me, whatever it's called, and then it's just like you meet Joe, and Joe's like, hey, I'm on my way out, and
Yeah.
I mean, how does he just hands you the key? Like, how does
So crazy. So when I first, our connection goes all the way back to when I very first started training out at Palisade CrossFit.
Oh, okay.
Your relative, Daniel Putnam,
Okay.
right, was mutual friends with Joe. And he knew that I was training in Palisade. And at the time when I first started, it was just like a few hours a week. Like I was
Right.
just getting my feet wet. And he mentioned that to Joe. Joe was like, hey, I'm looking for a trainer. And Daniel said, well, my buddy Ryan is working, but I know it's pretty limited. Maybe you should talk with him. And so I came over, I met Joe at that point. And basically at that time, he was like, and I get it now being in the seat that I'm in, but he's like, hey, to work here, I would need you to quit over there.
Yes.
And I had just started, and I loved the environment. I love what was going on over there. So I
Oh.
just said, hey, I appreciate it, but not at this time. Like I'm staying with these guys. So that was the beginning of my training journey, 7 years in. Well, fast forward the clock about 7 years, I get a reach out from Daniel again. Hey, Joe's looking for potentially a manager type position. And I threw your name out there, and he would maybe like to chat with you. So I went in and chatted with him. Me and my wife are both in a season of like, okay, we either need to move up in this industry or we need to move out of this industry. And
Did you have a
so
plan where you were gonna go?
we had no plan, but
Yeah.
that was our thought process. Like we got to figure out how to do more in this industry. Like we were starting to have kids. Like how can we
Yeah.
do more from a financial perspective, or how can we just pivot out and do something else? And we had no idea what that something else would be. And so this door all of a sudden gets open. And again, the conversation was to step in as a manager. And he's an entrepreneurial guy. I'm an entrepreneurial guy. And basically, like I said, I was coaching and everything at that time. And he was like, well, I don't know if it's going to work for you to do all these other things, which he knew better because he had been in it. But I'm like, no, I want to do it all. And so the whole manager thing wasn't going to work out. But I basically came to him and said, well, would you sell me the gym? And he's like, yeah, that's basically what he was ultimately wanting. So it just perfectly worked out. We started having conversations, and about 6 months later, we were signing papers.
But that's like crazy because I think about that and I go, okay, but here's the thing, like you're trying to figure it out. It's like you got your young family, you got your wife.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have at the time?
At the time, we had two.
So
Yeah.
like this, but this is like a risk. Like you're not just gonna start a business with. You gotta have capital. You gotta have a plan. You gotta. You have. At the time, it's like you have one or two certifications, and
Yeah.
you're just like, just full on straight up going for it. You gotta. I guess you gotta risk it to get the biscuit. But man, I don't know, dude.
Well, it was definitely some ignorance was in there for sure.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, that makes sense.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And so, we didn't really fully understand what we were stepping into. And it's been just like a crash course. This last 3.5 years of business ownership, I feel like has given me, as good of or better of an education than anything else
Yeah.
could have. And so, yeah, like I said, we didn't know exactly what we were getting into, the depths of it. So it's been learning on the go.